I was born in France, and I lived my first 10 years in Italy. And then I went back to France for a year. And in 1939, just as war broke out, I emigrated to the United States. I suppose it was helpful in feeling comfortable in various places, in various countries. I must say I don't worry too much about such things, but I feel very much at home here in New York. I feel at home almost anywhere, actually. New York is convenient for me. Europe is pleasant to go visit, and I go there frequently. I think I just like to be in a place at the moment. I can't say that I started studying photography because photography is rather simple. There's no study involved. It's just a matter of doing. And I started at the age of 16. I bought myself a plate camera, and the rest is history, I guess. I started by taking pictures of people in my neighborhood, in my school. I had no idea that I would be a professional photographer, although I did like the idea that I didn't have to have a regular job. I don't think I could ever do a regular job. I'd like to be in command of my own time, and I don't think I'd like to work for anybody else for more than a short period. Well, children, it's pretty obvious. Your children are something that you treasure. And dogs are very sympathetic animals for the most part. I don't think it's a mystery to like children and dogs and animals and just and people in general. I have a dog, yes. I have a dog that I brought from Cuba recently. Camelo. Canelo.
Oh. Bye. Bye. Hey.
In 1949, 1950, I was making the rounds of New York to see if I could interest anybody to hire me.
Because you were in LA normally?
Yes,
okay.
I was living in Los Angeles. And I had the good fortune to meet with Robert Capa and Edward Steichen.
What was your first assignment?
To take pictures of the installation of petroleum
Oil, yeah.
refinery in New Jersey.
And you were admitted to Magnum Photos as a photographer?
I was admitted after I left the military service. I was in the Army, drafted for 2 years, 1951 to 53. And Capa promised me that he would take me in Magnum when I get out of the service. 3 years, yes, at the end of 1960, 1968. I became president of Magnum for 3 years, and well, it was a smaller company than it is now, a lot more manageable. Sadly, all the people, or most of the people involved with that, are now playing poker in heaven. Well, he's the gold standard, of course. He's the, for me anyway.
Why? Why do you consider him the benchmark?
He just, Henri Cartier-Bresson is the benchmark. He's the example for most photographers, or most photographers of the original Magnum, traveling the world, recording events, and with the discipline of an artist. So I consider myself a professional photographer with a hobby. And my hobby is pictures that I think you're interested in. The ingredients of a good photograph is composition first, content, And there's another much more ephemeral aspect to a good picture, and that is if it has those two qualities, composition and content, but then also magic. And magic is something that you cannot count on. Some people manage to have it, and some people do not. Well, I would say that the better photographers are in Magnum, although I don't agree with all of them, because styles evolve and change. I still prefer the sort of direct way that I'm used to, and I still prefer to use film. I haven't graduated to the
Digital.
digital unless it's a commercial assignment and it's required. This is not my forte. I don't like to lecture. I've done it a couple of times against my better judgment, but I don't like workshops. It's not that I'm stingy about it, but I think in photography you can read the instructions on the box and at least from the technical aspect get the knowledge that you need. I think the rest is practice. I mean, photography is not rocket science. It's fairly simple. It has to do with what you see and how you translate what you see. And that, I think, is difficult to teach. The fundamental thing about photography is that it's pictures of what is, not of what is manufactured afterwards. Yeah, books are a great ego trip, for one thing. And it's nice to justify what you do. And a book is something that you don't throw out immediately like a newspaper. Black and white is my preferred way of photographing. Black and white is more of a synthesis of what you see. And color, which is fine too, is a description, and I'm more interested in the synthesis than in the description. Well, it's an amazing, the Bard complex, I guess, is an amazing venue. It's beautiful and it's extraordinary and unique, and I'm honored to have my works shown in such a splendid background. I could open a store of photography cameras. I do have all kinds of cameras, from view cameras to small cameras to digital cameras even, and to Leicas and Canons, and but that's not significant. The one constant camera that I've used from the very beginning is Leica. Luck, absolutely. Luck is absolutely essential part of taking pictures. And I've been lucky, I think. Well, there is a walking stick with my name.
A walking stick?
Yeah, it has a trumpet.
A trumpet. And it's
And
produced by Artemide, no?
Artemide, yeah. Well, Marilyn Monroe was very nice to me. We got along fine. I had a number of sittings with her. It was difficult to take a bad picture of her. By the same token, she looked better in pictures than in person.
Right.
She had that magic. She had that magic that somehow came out in a photograph. My next book is a catalogue raisonné,
Ah,
come out at the end of this year, based on my archive, which is now with the University of Texas. I think the only spirit that I'm interested in is Macallan whiskey,
good.
which is a very good client of mine. I don't have any particular interest in religion or God. Manifestations of religion and God, of course, are quite interesting to photograph, but I'm an atheist. My relationship with money is that it's better to have it than not.
Are you a generous man?
I think this is a judgment that other people should make.
Potremmo anche finire questa piacevole conversazione in italiano.
Sì, sì.
Cosa rappresenta per te l'Italia? Dovessi rappresentare l'Italia in 3 parole.
In 3 parole. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Ok, thanks Elliott.